Twitter sent out, get our Streamlabs set up, get our bot going, and get our... I forgot what Discord was for a moment there. Get our Discord going. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is August 7th, and this is the August 7th TextQuest Devstream. So, I have been away for pretty much about a week while I was attending Gen Con and also having late nights at work. So we're going to be picking right up, well, not really right up from where we left off. In fact, we're shifting gears entirely to a new thing that I would like to add to the canyon scene. Hello, Dusted. Welcome back. I'd say I was surprised to see you, except we were just chatting in Discord, so. But either way, welcome back. How are you doing tonight? Besides crunching to get a C++ plugin working. Uh, so one of the things that this scene is currently set up to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn on my test spawn. And where are you? Of course you're way up there. Let's go ahead and move this down. Okay, you're going to focus on it? There we go. That's good enough. So we're just going to jump into the scene real quick, run around. Sweaty and confused. Yep. That's how I am when I code too. Alright, so currently the puzzle, I'm going to spoil this because we're going to actually change this. The puzzle for opening up the shrine here is you need to go all the way to the forest to get the hero's sword, then come all the way back here, stand in the middle of it, and raise the sword. Actually, you know what? Why don't I just pull the sword in so I can show you that. Now the real question is, which one of these is it? It's not you. My guess is you. So we're just going to drag this into the scene. Let's go ahead and move this over. Put it right there. And I'm just going to pick that up, hold it, and walk into the center of the shrine, raise it, and then I will, you'll see the cutscene play for opening up the shrine. It's like 30 Celsius in there. Oh, jeez, yeah. It was actually about 80 degrees in here a few minutes ago, but I turned on the AC because whenever I do dev streams, I turn on the AC now. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this, then hold sword. Okay. So now if I raise this, we'll get our super fancy cutscene going. And it's basically going to continue until the sword or the stairs are actually finished. Right about now, I think. Yeah. Oh, apparently there's some extra time there. So that's the current way to open that up. So you'd go all the way over to the forest, into the hero's grove, take the sword, solve that puzzle, bring it back here, and then hold it up. Now, that is okay, but I feel like we might be able to do something a little more interesting. And something that will also let me have some more interesting puzzles later on in the game. What I am planning on doing is, instead of just having you come all the way back here and having you raise the sword, which doesn't really have any visual animation right now, like it just kind of says you raised it and then the stairs start opening up. What I would like to do is actually... I'm also going to turn on no clipping because I have to go through a dark area. Is have you come in... Oh, that's interesting. It's a different color. Huh. Alright. Well, anyway, inside this little... Ooh, no clipping. Inside this little cave over here, there is an area that you can't see because this is not going to work without a lantern. So, I will pull in the lantern, too. Let's see. I think we want you. go ahead and move that. Put it right about there. And then we'll just no clip and fly over there. Don't have AC. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'm amazed that it's so hot there. I would have expected it to be at least somewhat more temperate. Jeez. Yeah, that's got to be murder on you. Okay. So we're going to run over here. And we have a small cave over here that doesn't really have much in it. Currently, it is just a skeleton. Oh yeah, this has a music cue. I forgot about that. Oh man, I really need to get more music in here. It just sounds so cool once you have music cues. Miss them. Anyway, so one of the... I kind of want to just listen to it. It's a short one, so let me indulge in this. I just don't have a lot of compositions. Okay. Anyway, so there's not really much in here. In fact, actually, there is something missing from here, I think. Oh, it's probably because its ID got reset. Pretty much the only thing that's in here right now is just the skeleton, which probably is broken right now. Yeah. And a gold ring that doesn't really do anything. The gold ring is a treasure. And actually, you can take it to give it to someone later. Well, not right now because they're not implemented yet, but they are designed to be. Heat waves this year. Yeah, that's very true. California's basically been on fire all summer. Anyway, so what I would like is I want to keep the skeleton and the ring, but I would actually like to also add a couple of environments pieces to it. I would like there to be a kind of mural that basically describe... Oh, interesting. I apparently UV'd that entirely wrong. Okay. Anyway, so I'd like to have a mural that kind of goes along here and is basically similar to the mural that we have in the Heroes Grove, because I want them to appear to be connected, because obviously they are. And essentially what I want to do is have the mural basically describe kind of, like a legend, sort of a vague thing. And then if you bring the sword back, you can actually insert it into the mural, at which point 2 lasers will come out, and the river will stop flowing, so the waterfall will stop. Those lasers will extend out. They will basically be lined up with these torches over here, and then they'll just activate, fire their lasers, light the torches, and then you can actually get down into the shrine. Now, I do think that I want to do a couple of things. So if I do that approach, basically the torches lighting will not be the only thing that's necessary to actually open the shrine staircase. There will be another slot that the sword will fit into, at which point you can come back once the lasers have lit these torches, and then you can place the sword in the slot, and you will have to leave it there. So you won't be able to take it down with you, at least not right now, because the staircase will only remain open for as long as the sword is in a pedestal that is going to be here. So that factors into a puzzle that I want to bring in later on, where you have to basically find another way back to the overworld from the underground kingdom to pick up the sword and not go down the staircase, because the staircase will be blocked off to you. Anyway, that's kind of my game plan. So I'm basically taking a premise that right now is fairly straightforward and making it slightly less so for the sake of having more interesting interactions. In addition to that, I would also like to add one little touch that I did not think of before, but I would like to now. You'll notice that I can jump between the land and the canyon here, right through the waterfall. But the cave is dark, so I need to have my lantern on. But it doesn't really make sense for my lantern to stay lit through the water here. And what I would like to do is basically have a little area that if you jump in to the water with a lit lamp, it will turn the lamp off. It won't unequip it from you, but it will turn it off. Now, that is something I'm going to have to tweak a bit for balancing purposes because it would be pretty unfair for you to just be running through here and just like, and it's out, and you die. Because I think right now the collision for the, or the trigger for the dark area is pretty thin. Let me check. Triggers, light, dark zones. Yeah, it's basically like the end of this lip. So I might end up making it a little bit deeper just so that you can have some amount of time to react. I'll probably make it extend to about here, I want to say, like the corner. Maybe 2/3 of the way up. And then we'll have our mural be up here with our design on it and a slot for the sword. Okay. Everyone got that? It's a little bit of an overcomplicated explanation for what's happening, but that is the game plan. So to start, I am going to go ahead and jump over to the canyon modeling scene. I'm also going to go ahead and get rid of these guys. Or actually, no, I'm going to need those. Let's go ahead and hit canyon modeling. All right, so we're going to start modeling out. I probably should clean up this model too. I'll do that in Maya because that way I can just update the FBX. So let's go ahead and I'm going to switch over to my Pro Builder Dev. Freaking polybrush. All right. So we're going to come back over here. Nice. And all we're really going to do is just kind of model out a square platform. I am trying to think. So if I have lasers coming out of the wall here, should I have them kill the player? I kind of want them to, but I also don't really want to just like have the player be standing in front of them when I fire. That would be a dick move. So I can't instantly kill the player, which is a good thing because I mean, again, in adventure games, you should never. It should be very hard to die in adventure games. Otherwise, people can get very frustrated very easily. So it should always be very obviously telegraphed if the player is going to die from something, like a long fall or lasers, I guess. The easiest thing to do, I suppose, would be not to necessarily do that. Okay, so this is the waterfall, and essentially when we're done, by the time we're done, when we activate the lasers, the waterfall will be gone, and in its place will be trying to determine if I want to have the lasers come out of this alcove. I would not be opposed to that. That probably makes the most sense, because it's either going to be out of the cave or it's going to be from like beneath the waterfall up here, which is kind of an awkward angle. Because if they're from the cave, then I can actually just have two of them that shoot out in a straight line and basically light the torches. But if I place them above the cave, then I don't have to worry as much about killing the player, because they would basically, there would be four of them and they would be firing down onto the individual torches. So maybe it's hard to say, really. So we might, let's see. I guess we could block this out. So let's go ahead and just to kind of get a sense of this stuff. Let's go ahead and create a new cube. And all I'm really going to do here is, I wonder where it is for one, because it wouldn't freaking, okay. I'm just going to kind of like gray box this prototype, see what it looks like. So we'd probably have something like this come out. I also just really want to do this because I want to write laser a lot. But I want them to kind of Uh, well, you know what? Maybe I could have them raise from different parts of the canyon. That could be cool, because then that could be another different. That could be a different game, like a puzzle that you have to solve. Hmm. Maybe, but then that would be platforming. But it would give me something to do in the canyon, because right now the canyon is largely empty, and I'm not really sure what to fill with it. Because obviously we have the bridge here, which gives us a cutscene, and then after it collapses, we can climb up and down them. But for everything else, it's just kind of there. Those stacks aren't really being used anymore, so although I guess I probably still have them for just to have them. Uh, but I mean, I could do something like basically once you activate these things, they'll spring out of the walls, and you'll have to run over to them and maybe light them. Maybe that'd be weird because I don't really know what you'd use as a power source besides just your lantern, literally burning them. But that isn't super impressive, and it wouldn't spell lasers. So, hmm, might be a bit rude. I suppose filling it with death is all right. Filling the lasers with death. Um, so I could potentially have different, like have 4 different laser points that you have to move to and activate somehow. Um, but it'd be a bit strange. But it would be more interesting. But it also means that I can't really have them be anywhere far off the ground unless I want to indulge in first-person platforming, which is always a bit of a gamble. Um, hmm. Well, oh my god, lag. Oh my god, it's all over the place. I could, I guess, have them come out of the stack here, which would be hilarious, just because of how it just be probes coming out of a stack. Um, hmm. And I'm really digging the laser aesthetic. I really want to have lasers. Uh, I guess I don't have to have lasers, but I would like them. So I could just have the slot over there be the key. But no, I don't want to do that. So the reason that I don't want to just immediately activate the staircase is because I want you to be standing next to it when it starts, so that you can see the super dramatic like as the stairs or as the steps go down. Um, so I don't want to just like put the sword in over here in the cave and then have the staircase open over there, because that's not very cool. It'd be much cooler if you put the sword in over here, and then you have to put it in over here to actually open the staircase. Hmm. I suppose I could just. Oh, you know what? That would actually work. So we could have it be where basically you insert the sword over here. Well, no, I would also like that to cause a dramatic shift in the landscape so that the riverbed drives up and you can see the river kind of like going away. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. So I want to have the waterfall stop, which means that the river will shrink, which means that the waterfall down here will disappear. I can't really do anything with that because that would require platforming or something very strange. So, well, thank you for the host, Destin, and I'll see you when you get back. Um, okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I am going to have. No, that would be cool though. I'm trying to think if I can fit another puzzle in here somehow. It might be interesting to have. So you insert the sword over here. That activates the lasers. Maybe you have to redirect them so that they line up here. Hmm. But then you need things that you would have to rotate, which would be weird. Um, but it could work. It could be very interesting, actually. Hmm. Oh, I know what we can do. That is even better, actually. So instead of having two lasers, what we can do is we'll have you insert the sword here. There's a laser that comes out from the right. It fires. It goes into the torches, which aren't going to be standard fire torches. They're going to be a special torch. It'll hit this torch, go through, hit this torch, and this torch will rebound the light over to here. Now, this torch will be missing a mirror. So you need to go find that mirror so that you can replace it and then fire it down this direction, which will bring it back to the cave, at which point it will go into a receptacle, and then that will actually activate the staircase. So that gives you an opportunity for one. The sword is still necessary to keep the sword above ground, so you won't be able to just take it with you down into the underground kingdom. But it also ensures that you will be well, it doesn't ensure that. You will just be potentially next to the staircase when that happens. But most likely that's the order that people will do it in, because they might not think to place the mirror inside of that. So, okay, I think I got this. I think I got it figured out. That also lets me keep my lasers, and that's really what I wanted. Okay, so let's go ahead and start modeling. So I'm going to get rid of this. And go ahead and say new shape. We will make this, we'll make it a cube for now. Might as well. Let's turn on ProGrids. Okay, so we're looking at, let's get this. Probably it's going to be closer over to here. Down. All right. So our X size is, oh, right, I forgot. That's how I built this. So 10. That seems, actually, no, it needs to be a little bit more than that. I'm probably going to have to redo this cave a little bit so I don't have this edge here, this kind of soft corner. I'll probably make it a little bit more harsh, because we need it to fit around the stack here in the center, which means that we're probably looking at closer to 12 units. I'm going to guess, right about there. And that's looking good. I guess the easiest way for me to test this is, of course, to just drag it out here. And that is pretty correct, although it needs to also hit the, so 15 might have been the better choice. 14. Okay, 14 is looking good. So about there is what we want. All right. So it's a little dangerous because we're probably going to have to restructure this as well. So we'll have to bring this point in, make it a little less sharp like that, which is probably for the better because that's a weird angle anyway. And then we can have our actual mural. I was trying to think of the word. It was like, it starts with an M, but I can't think of it. Okay, so we're going to make that, I'm guessing, 5 things tall. Probably it should just be about as tall as the actual canyon cave, which is a tongue twister, I swear. All right. It's going to be pretty much a straight line. Makes it pretty easy. Probably going to move it in a fair amount. So let's move this in increments of 0.25. Something about like there for the most part. Okay, yeah, that works. All right, and let's go ahead and I don't think we won't need the back face, definitely. Probably won't need the top face either, or the bottom face. We'll pretty much only need the left and the, well, not even the, well, a little bit of the right. Left, right, and front faces. I don't think we're going to need the top, bottom, or back faces. So let's go ahead and build this cube. Okay. And I'm actually going to go ahead and, oh Oh dear, this is going to be fun because I haven't opened Maya in forever. I'm going to open up Maya, and then I'm going to try to clean everything up. Oh, this is probably going to be fun, so I got to sign in. Okay, let's see if I can remember my password for this. It's been a while since I've signed into Maya. Okay. Taking a drink. Anyway, I'm going to clean up this canyon cave model real quick. Just going to flip the UVs here and then do a little bit of offsets for the vertexes here, and then move this wall back a little bit so that our mural can be nice and flat there. Okay, so this is probably going to take a little bit, so let's go ahead and do that. Minimize you, Unity, text quest, art. We want to go to models. I'm assuming canyon. Caves entrance. Oh, geez. We'll find out. Overworld, canyon. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and say file. Set project. Set this in the overworld, canyon. Set. And then we're also just going to go ahead and open up our scenes. So I'm going to need the canyon.mlt, I believe, which hopefully will not open up a separate instance of it, but it totally will, won't it? Yep, totally will. Ah, man. I need to update Maya. Jeez. I'm quite out of date. I've just kind of switched everything over, so I haven't really had to do anything with it. Oh, God. I've forgotten how to get around in Maya. There we go. Off so that I can see everything. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and select this face, and did you select it? Yes, you did. Okay, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees if it's going to let me. Oh, that was the light map. Oops. Hold on. Alright, so let's rotate you 90 degrees. And it looks like that's correct. Okay, so good. It was just weirdly flipped for some reason, so I don't really have to do anything extra there. Now the other area over here is a little more debatable. So let's go ahead and grab our edge. Ooh, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay. I hate it when I accidentally smooth things. It drives me nuts. Also, it's been so long since I worked in Maya. It's so awkward getting around now. Oh, God. Okay, so I'm going to... Yeah, it's going to distort everything. Okay. That's not ideal. But let's go ahead and let's see. So you are at -70. So if I set you to -71. Oops. Again, not what I wanted. Let's set you to -73, actually. Make it pretty extreme. Okay. And we do have a little bit of distortion here, which is not going to be fun. I kind of wonder if it would be faster and easier for me to just model this actually in Unity. I feel like I probably would have an easier time. I'm actually going to do that. I'm just going to model out a a new version of this inside of Unity because it's separate from the whole canyon, so it's not like I have to replace that. I just need to model out basically this area. I think we can do that a little bit faster. So I'm going to go ahead and close. Let's go ahead and say increment and save, I guess. And we'll close this. Let's save. Okay, one day it will close. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and make a, where are you, plane. Let's preview this. Moving up, over. All right, so right about there. I believe I gave myself 1 meter. Oh, how awkward. It's like 1.5 meters. That is a shame. Okay, with 0 width segments and 0 length segments. Let's go ahead and move this. It is 3 things long. Yep, that's about right. Nice. All right, now begins the fun. Let's go ahead and build the plane. Get this. I'm just going to extrude that up to about there. Let's go ahead and bridge that. Oop, not what I wanted to do. Oh, my shortcut got changed. I used to have a Control-Shift-B, but not anymore. Okay, this is going to be fun. We're just going to grab our entire circle here, if I could, but it won't let me, will it? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to grab you. Let's go ahead and extrude. And then, already we are having a bad time. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab you. Yarg. Get rid of you. Grab you. And I believe that's all I want, so I'm going to extrude. Yep. Dang it. Okay. I'm going to extrude you. That's still awkward because I'm going to have that triangle there. How annoying. Fine. Just can't do this a nice way. I'm going to have to do it like this. Extrude this out to where I need it to go. And we'll have it snap in. About there. It is admittedly very hard to tell if it's right up against it or not. But in any case, let's see if it complains, because I get the feeling that it will. Oh, good. It didn't. Go ahead and select you. Bridge these edges. Oh. Why are you not going? Okay, whatever. Bridge edges. Haha! Hey, Warner. How you doing today? Also, welcome back. We're currently modeling out some stuff in ProBuilder. So we're going to go ahead and extrude this. Make sure that everything looks nice. Oh, all the Z fighting is going to murder our eyes for a little bit, but bear with it. We will survive this. I'm a little worried that I have, yep, super awkward hills. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and go into shaded wireframe mode so that I can more easily see the actual shape that I built for my previous cave. So let's go ahead and put this here. Jeez, it's super awkward that I have to like, just strangely raise these things. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and extrude one more time. Then we're gonna have to kind of morph these to make them fit. Go up to here, and down to here. Right about there. That's looking good. Doing awesome. I'm assuming that's what that meant. just because me modeling stuff in Pro Builder is less awesome and more kind of like slow and painfully awkward. Um, has your schedule cleared up some? Are you getting back into doing more live stream stuff? Let's go ahead and raise. This is gonna be fun, yeah. I'm gonna change this to about 0.1. See if we can get some use out of that. It's looking a lot better. Okay. We will go ahead. I think that's pretty much everything that we would want. All right. So now let's go ahead and I didn't raise the ceiling, did I? I of course did. Okay, so we're gonna get all kinds of awkward shapes because I just wanted to make my life hard for this. Yeah, just a little bit. I still don't know when I'll be able to resume streams. Hopefully this month. Well, let me know. I mean, I'm looking forward to catching some of your streams. I've been I've been meaning to really do a better job of just catching up with other developers on their streams, but I admittedly am terrible at doing that. It does not help that usually outside of my Tuesday and Thursday dev streams, I either have to work late at the office or I am just forgetful and I never remember that people are streaming. So hopefully that will not be as much of an issue from now on. I'm trying to improve on that. Okay, let's go ahead and come over to here. Looking good, looking good. Let's see. Yep, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that we probably want to move this a little bit. The Z fighting is going to be murder on my eyes for the entire duration of this, but we kind of need it to be there so that I can make sure that I'm doing everything properly. Okay, we got a little bit of our stuff raised. Oh, that's even more awkward. Yep. Okay, we're gonna switch over to our vertex stuff. We're gonna move you down by 1 because why not? And also, I think that's good. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and switch back to edges. Okay. Let's go ahead and select you and you and you. Ah, super sensitive. Let's go ahead and drag you. Are you going to be getting back into your old project, Warner? I know you ran into some production difficulty there for obvious reasons, but wasn't sure if you were planning on resuming work on that or if you're going to try to kind of hop ship to a new thing, or if you had anything in mind in particular. Let's go ahead and now the exact edges don't have to line up. I'm just going for the feel of the old one. So let's see. I think we're good on the floor here. I do need to move this back a little bit to about there. Okay. Now we should have a straight extrusion for a bit, which is always nice. Why won't you select the edges? Because life is suffering, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to select all of that. And deselect that. We're going to extrude you. Let's go ahead and move everything over. Move this up. Okay, looking good. Same thing. Grab this. We're going to extrude that. And here's where it's going to get kind of fun. Here's where we're going to start getting some deviancy from the previous layouts, because we don't want this edge to be here, which means that we're probably going to actually go to about like there, a little bit more, maybe a little bit more like there actually. Also, we're going to want to raise this to about there. Ah, lag. also going to go ahead and turn this cube off after I rename it to gate. I don't really know what else to call that, but I'm going to turn it off so that we don't get as much Z fighting. I'm also going to go ahead and save because I haven't done that in a while. I dropped my old project because my partner and friend for that project passed away. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to drop it fully or if you had just dropped it temporarily. Working on a new game, which is similar, also a 2D side-scroller game. This is not a shooter. There's different mechanics, different style and story. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that when I watched you before, when you were sort of coming back, or probing coming back. But yeah, it makes sense for you to want to reuse all the tools that you've put together. Because why would you ever want to redo all that work? Okay. I am also going to, let's see, grab this. Let's move you over a little bit. Okay. And I guess before I actually do that, I should make sure that these are not completely overdone. Okay, so that's looking good. That gives me plenty of space to actually shoot my lasers out. Okay, so with that, I think the only thing we have left to do is model out this chamber. So let's go ahead and go to our plane again. I'm going to keep the gate on actually because I do want to keep it for reference. It just means I have to get used to all the Z fighting. Are you currently in pre-production for that project then? Like just getting the kind of concepts hammered out and making sure that you like everything? And I think what we're going to do here is we're going to extrude this. Go ahead and grab... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's grab both of these. And we're going to drag them forward again. Because I do need to extrude up to about there. So at the very least, we're going to be looking at about there. Looking good. And I think what we're going to do here is we're going to move this to be about there. So that's looking nice. And then we will also move this one to be about there. I just need it to be past the mural so that it looks like the mural was put inside of the mountain rather than built underneath it, I guess. We're working on the alpha, which will include a couple of enemies, full player movements and actions, and partial first stage. Check a bit of it here. Mind if I show this on the stream? I was going to say, I think you might have a little bit of a problem there. Yeah, I need to get better at the HTTPS stuff too. Because my website doesn't, I don't support it on all of my stuff. So this is the current one. Are you reusing assets as well? I think you said that, right? It's not just tooling. Because I remember that this is pretty similar for the previous game's art style, right? I thought this was the character design that you were using. No asset reusage. Huh. Okay. Then I misremembered it. I mean, either way, the animation obviously looks good. Okay. I guess that would make sense if it's just your style. Yeah. Nice. Oh man, you do have a bit of a fun uphill fight for all the hand-drawn animations. They look nice, man, but that's gonna be so time-consuming. But yeah, looks cool. All right, I'm gonna put that back over here for now. All right. But look at it this way. It'll be so much better because they're hand drawn. I have a weakness for hand drawn stuff. I'm a huge sucker for hand drawn animation. I mean, pretty much all forms of hand drawn animation. I'm definitely one of the types that hates. Well, I don't hate CG or uh, pure CG animation, but I just really prefer hand drawn. In my opinion, it's the better form. Anyway, so now I'm going to want to go ahead and I think I'm going to raise this. What are you doing? There we go. I'm going to raise this up a little bit to about here. Put it right up against the top there. Okay, all the Z fighting. Stop it. Probably actually what I can do is I can turn off that. Oh. Oh, right. I forgot. I don't have a close thing over here. Okay, so this is what it currently looks like. I don't know why we're getting weird light mapping there, but sure, why not? Oh, it's probably just because our UV2s haven't really been recalculated yet. Okay, so we have all of this. Now, we are going to want to, close this up. So let's go ahead and grab you. I guess we'll try to fill hole. See if we get lucky. Okay, nice. And then I can delete this face actually, because I need that to be open so that it can connect to the outside world. Hopefully, lots of people would find it interesting. You'd hope so. Um, I think that in games in particular, pretty much everyone agrees that hand drawn art is the better way to go. Um, well, I guess better. It is subjective technically. But just aesthetically, I like hand drawn stuff more than CG, pure CG, just because I feel like it lets you accentuate stuff or emphasize movement a lot better. Um, Hence why you get really nice, uh, what are they? Smear frames whenever you do things like swings. It just looks so much better in 2D. Hand drawn 2D, I guess. No, stop it. There we go. Okay, there we go. So I think, yeah, it's gonna be tricky. I have to like match it up basically perfectly with our gap here. Come on. All right, we're gonna move you, and I think we're good there. Okay. And the next thing that we would want to do is grab these. Move them down just a smidge. Be right about there. Which is funny because now that cave is totally flat. So probably what I want to do is, let's go ahead and grab this. Move you up a little bit. And move this up a little bit. And all this is doing is just giving it a little bit of nice natural formation, because obviously cave floors are not perfectly flat. So by raising some of the edges a little bit, it gives us this sort of asymmetrical appearance that makes things look a lot more natural. Probably do the same by lowering this a little bit, just to give us a asymmetrical ceiling. And then everything should fall back into place. Oh my god, what is up with this lag? Okay. So I think we're good there. Alright. So this is the new cave then. Perfect, it's done. I don't even need to texture it. Welcome back, Dusted. What did you miss? Not much. I just modeled out the cave in Pro Builder. I was going to rebuild it in Maya, but I think it'll be better for us just to work with this inside of Pro Builder. Okay, let's go ahead and try to get this shrunk in a little bit. And I do have a gap it's like flush with it. Okay. That's probably fine. Question mark. I might actually raise this just a little bit so that we have a little bit of an overhang on the mural there. Okay. So now our cave is a little more open. It has a little bit of asymmetry to it, so it doesn't look like a unnatural formation. I think we will be good to texture it. For now, I'm not really going to worry too much about texture, but I will apply the material to it. So let's go ahead and pull up our material editor, drag that somewhere around here. And let's see here. Probably what I want is this. So let's grab you, and I'm going to put you here. Select this, not the head, just that. Hit apply. All right, and we should be good. So I think, ooh, do we have overhang here? Maybe. Okay, so let's see actually how that. I'm curious to see if this textured it in a pretty satisfying UV way already, because if that's the case, I'll be happy. I really don't want to re-UV this. It's pretty good. It was never super amazing to begin with, just because, good God, it was surprisingly hard to get things to not look stupid with hard edges like this. Because whenever I try to do natural formations like caves, it always backfires, and it ends up forcing me to do a ton more work just to get the UVs to look nice. Because obviously, if you notice at the very bottom here, we're getting clipping, and I think it's okay. I don't think that I need to struggle and try to make it line up perfectly. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can't without a texture redoing the texture entirely. But I try to make it at least not look terrible. So, but in any case, I think that's pretty good. It might be a little too small though, because it's smaller than the dirt. But we'll leave that alone for now, and then maybe I'll walk around in it in first person and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's our new cave. Everything seems to match up with it. I'm going to go ahead and drag in the... You could use world space UVs. Well, so the problem is would that work? I feel like that would produce weird distortion. And keep in mind that I need to make sure that all the text lines up properly. And when you have this sharp of an angle with angles that are not just 90-degree angles, it's pretty much impossible. You just can't do it. So I'm fine just kind of leaving it like it as it is. It's a small detail that I'm not too heartbroken to lose. Anywho, I swear there's a gap here. I swear there's a gap. But it doesn't look like. Oh no, there's totally a gap. Well, there's sub-pixel gaps. You can see it right there. Maybe you can't on the Devstream, but oh wow, the Devstream is super dark compared to what's on my monitor. Everything looks really desaturated. Huh. Well, anyway, right above where my mouse pointer is there, I have a sub-pixel error, so it's a dot that lets me see through the gap or the edge here. It might be worth doing doing science with, but if it's more work than it's done, or than it's worth, don't bother. Yeah, again, I think it's a small detail that I don't think is really gonna really end up affecting us very much. So I think we're fine just leaving it as is. Also, welcome back, Garrett. How you doing tonight? Okay, so let's go ahead and save this real quick. I am going to put a collider on this. Okay, it's already got one, and then I'm going to drag the hero in, which is already there. So cool. I'm just going to walk around because I want to see what this looks like in first person. And once we're satisfied with that, actually, before I move on to the mural, I would like to mess with the Pro Builder utility windows and my animations. So let's see. Oh wow, that's super repetitive. Okay, might need to blow it up. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to my own game. Okay, let's turn off our our triggers. uh, it's probably a good idea. Try that again. Welcome back from your quest to relieve yourself, Warner. Hopefully things came out all right. Uh, so I think everything looks pretty good, but we do need to change the UV in here because it's pretty noticeable that it's a pattern when it's this small. So we need to scale it up. Not really sure what's going on here. I'm assuming just a UV2 calculation. That's weird. So let's go ahead and stop playing. We're going to jump into some UV editing real quick. Grab this. Oh, stop it, polybrush. I really should just get rid of that. I don't know why. I mean, I need polybrush, but I shouldn't have it always be enabled. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to say a couple of things. One, I'm going to go ahead and just say generate UV2. I don't want to do that. I think I can just say generate. Oh, I guess it did it for all of them. Yeah, whatever. Um, really, though, that's a little disconcerting, but it's fine for now. I didn't ask a question there, thank you very much, Dustin. I just said I hope that everything was fine. Uh, I was not asking for specifics. I just wanted to show my support. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up our UV editor. And I'm going to drag this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to do this by, I think, yeah, about there is pretty good. We are going to have to obviously work to make everything fit together a little bit more nicely. But everything should be, at the very least, somewhat coherent, regardless of our... Oh man, that's super awkward. Like, they kind of match up, but they don't quite. Okay. So I think that's a pretty good size, about 0.5, what it normally is. So let's just try to get these lined up. So we will have this one, which aligns with this. And oh boy, is that actually a square? It kind of is a square. I'm really hoping that this isn't going to produce any sort of weird distortion. I don't think it is. Okay, good. I think everything's pretty well laid out. So that's good. It's all about how you phrase things, Dustin. See, if you're very vague with your wording, you can never get in trouble for your choice of words. Okay, so we want to match up to you. Okay. I'm just going to kind of cheat and select all of the faces that I need to for this wall, and then I'm going to move them all at once. Oh, did I select one from behind? I did, didn't I? I totally did. I totally did. Oh, well, maybe I didn't. Okay. So I need this. Okay. Nice thing about the way that this cave system is set up, the walls aren't touching, so I don't have to worry about really them syncing up. I just need to make sure that each individual wall is correct. So that lets me do stuff like this. Aha. All right. Not sure if that's true. Well, I suppose that's a matter of interpretation. You know, it's a certain point of view thing. We all saw Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi's argument for not telling Luke about his father totally holds up, right? All right, so I'm going to drag this over. Let's see, we're going to go to here. Cool. And let's go to here. It's also nice, I think, that they're actually lining up automatically. At least I hope that's the case. Actually, no, that's definitely not the case. Well, maybe it is, actually. No, it might be. It might be. It's not. It would have been nice, but it's not. So let's go ahead. Come on, work in here. Okay, so we're going to want to... So I need to do this. Go a little bit down. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite have the UV tools that Maya does, so I can't just like slam things down easily. I do have to hand position them. But, you know, I've worked with that workflow before, so I can live. Are you just not going to work with me here? Uh-huh. All right. Okay, so here, we're going to go ahead and slide it to about there. Slide it down to about there. Everything seems to look fine. Yep, nice. And I'm pretty sure we're going to put both of these things over here. Select these. I think they're going to go on the far side. Okay. So we're not going to get too far into UVing today. I think this cave is about as far as we're going to get as far as UVs goes. When we get to the mural, I will probably design the texture, but I won't hook it up UV-wise because that will take a while probably. Okay, let's go ahead and shrink this down. Gotta move it to about there. Okay, making sure that everything sticks. Looks good. Oh, so close. Okay. This. Moving you over to about there. Okay. Let's go ahead and drag these things over. Just kind of get them close together. Alright. And I think these are actually going to line up perfectly. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so this needs to go over to this side. This needs to go over to here, and I'm pretty sure that, yes, they are matching up perfectly, which means that I can connect them over here and then move them all at once, which is always my favorite thing to do. Okay, so we're going to just drag you to there. Drag you to there, if I can get it. There we go. Aha! And then I think we're going to do this in reverse here. If I can grab it, at least. Okay, I think that is... hold on. It's really close, but it's not quite right. Nice. Okay. So we're going to grab you, and in one fell swoop, we will move all of them, and it will be perfect, and then I will be happy. Okay, right about there. It's going to be a little off, but I think... okay, fine, a lot of off. And it sucks because I can't change the pivot. Okay, I got to stretch this. I got to, like, do this awkward thing where I can reach the gizmo still. Right about there. And one more. Come on. There. Ha! Got it. So now, this is what it looks like. Okay, everything lines up. Everything is scaled. Everything looks nice. Cool. Should I do the other side? Yeah, I'll do the other side. It'll take not nearly as long, I don't think. And then I'm not going to worry about this. Yeah, okay, I'm going to worry. Okay, I'm not gonna finish the UVing because that's boring. So I will save that for work to do off air. But that is the process that I'm going to use for this, obviously. Okay, so real quick, I would like to actually shift gears. Let's go ahead and close this. I'm going to switch over to my generic dev layout. And then we're going to go over to our canyon scene. Let's see here. Where are you? Canyon. And we're going to set up a extinguish lantern function, or basically extinguish light function. So let's go ahead and real quick, I am going to turn lighting, oh, not that, turn light off. Go to our light dark trigger zones. Let's go to the waterfall entrance, and we are going to increase the size of this XYs to be 3. That seems about right. Maybe not. I'm going to go with 3 because I think that's pretty generous, and that's good enough. So right about there, it means that it gives us enough room for you to get close to the edge, but not actually enough room to interact with it. Okay, So with that, I think we're pretty much in a good state with our information there. Cool. So what I would like to have happen to showcase what I was doing before uh, is when you have the lantern equipped and lit, I feel like if you jump through the waterfall as it is going, then your lantern should become unlit. So I'm going to take that, hold and light lamp. Okay, so if we run over here, currently I can just run through and jump and it'll be fine. So whoop. Oh, and it's going to trigger our music. But we already listened to it, so I'm not going to listen to it again, even though it is cool. So what probably should happen is you can't jump through here because the water would put out your lantern. Which I guess that's actually fine for me to keep the size up. So right about here is I think where you would have died. So it's still pretty close, but just having that nice little touch of going underwater while your lantern is lit will, I feel, make it a little more interesting, just in terms of how you get around. And of course, I mean, it's not really that much to ask people to enter from the side, or if they want, they can jump in through the waterfall and catch themselves on the edge here before progressing. I think that'll be fine. So all we'll do is just if the waterfall exists, when you jump through it, it will automatically extinguish your lantern. So let's go ahead and stop playing. All right. And it's a good thing that I believe I have exposed those functions to be public so that I don't have to worry about trying to add new functionality. For the most part, I pretty much just am going to have a trigger for this. So let's go ahead and select our light dark trigger zone. Item use. Okay. I'm going to add a create folder. Would it be item use? Maybe. Hold on. No. Probably I'm just going to call this like extinguish. We'll call this lights. Create C# script. And we're going to call this extinguish held light. Yes, that's good. All right, so we're going to open this up. And all this is really going to need to do is take a list of valid item IDs, so item IDs that you can actually affect from this zone. Because I do have items later on that will create light but don't use a natural source, so they can't be put out by something like this normally. Unlike lantern, which is obviously just fire, and therefore can be put out by water. Okay, so we're going to make this instead of common, text quest, and it is going to derive from, what is it? I think I have a root class for this. Maybe, if it'll compile. I really shouldn't have saved. I habitually save with Control S, and now we have to wait. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you, Unity. Not very much, but I do believe in you. Alright. Well, it's faster for me to do this. Okay, so I guess I don't actually need to do anything there. I thought I had a base class, but I don't. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is say serialize field private item ID. It's going to be an array of those, and it will just be affected items is equal to new item ID 0. Okay, and from there, I guess we don't really need anything else. I could make this generic in the way that it could either turn lights on or off, but I don't really know if I'll ever have a situation in which I want to turn lights on that you're holding, because most likely, one, why would you have a light that you don't have lit that you're holding? But also just not really a lot I can get from there. At least not that I can think of. So I'm fine with it like this. So all we really need to do is have our affected items, and then we'll probably have, I guess, the player tag. So let's go ahead and say serialized field tag, which is not a thing because I need using sleepyowl.common. Okay, and then we're going to say private or if it private string player tag is equal to player. Hit OK there. And with that, we have our tag set up to listen for the player entering the trigger area. And we also have our affected items. So let's go ahead and say private void on trigger enter. Oop, right, it fills it in automatically now. I forgot about that. So we're going to say if, right, it's not called col. If other dot compare tag player tag. So if it is the player, then we're going to actually do something. We are going to say, let's see, global. Oh, right. I called it TQ game. It is TQ game manager dot get inventory. No, not that. I don't actually need that. I want dot hero reference. Dot held item, equipped item. Okay then. Really? I don't. I don't believe you. I thought. Oh, is it in my inventory? Actually, hold on. Dot inventory. Doing this all wrong. Get inventory. Dot equipment. There we go. Equipment ID does not equal item ID dot none. I guess I can store that. So let's go ahead and say item ID is equal to that. Okay. Welcome back, cool. Still sniffing around, I see. How you doing tonight? If ID is equal, actually, if it's, should I make this a separate function? I'll just make it part of the for loop. So I'm going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than affected items dot length I plus plus. We're going to say if affected items of I is equal to ID, then we're going to 1 break out once we're done there, but 2 we will simply say dot equipment. This is going to be interesting. Dot extinguish. Good. Yes, I did make it a base function. Cool. Cool. So we're going to let that go. And that's all we really need. So let's let that compile. Well, thank you for the subscription, Dustin. Got to use that 1 free subscription a month deal. Okay, so I am going to close this, and also I'm going to see if I need to reopen this and get rid of some different line endings. Yep, I always need to do that because life is suffering. So we'll let that go again. And then, once that's done, I can actually make my trigger. Oh man, stretch! Gotta stretch. It's been an hour. Need to get like a standing desk or something. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna make a new trigger here. We're gonna call this waterfall trigger. Yeah, how about waterfall extinguish trigger? Okay, let's go ahead and pull that in. We're going to add a box collider. And then let's go ahead and move it around. I'm going to make this one thing large. Let's have you go over here. I keep hitting G instead of F. That explains why I wasn't focusing. We're going to have it be a little... It's going to be in a bit of a weird space. So I'm going to want it to be probably about 0.5 deep. And it's going to move to be about 0.25. Okay. So we're going to move it to about there. Looks nice. And let's just place it right about here. That might be a little too high. Probably right about there. All right. And I'm going to make it be 5. 10? That seems a bit excessive, really. 8. That seems better. 8 by, I believe, 15 is what we decided. Yep. All right. It is going to be a trigger. Cool. And that is all we really need to do. So now, in theory, if we jump through there after we set up affected items to be this, which will be lantern, we should be able to extinguish the lamp when we jump through there. Now, we do need to probably update that mechanic so that when we do that, it will show a message. I'm off to bed now. Saw you online. Thought I'd sniff around. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Cool. Have a good night. Try not to be kept awake by your sensitive nose. All right. We're going to go ahead and say hold and light lamp. Okay. So we're going to be running over here. And this is by the way, what I was talking about when I said, like, we don't really have a lot to do here. Like, it's just about running to fill up the space. And I don't really like that, but at the same time, it's a canyon. There's not much I can do here, really. So, oh, hello. You didn't do what I wanted. Why didn't you do what I wanted? Okay. Time to find out why. So, let's debug this. Open this up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and say, once we come in here, we will debug.log id.name, because that's what we want. Could put a combat encounter somewhere. Maybe. That could be potentially actually an interesting idea for one of the... Oh, yes, that could be very fun. I could make the skeleton be a combat encounter, actually, an optional one. Well, all of them are optional, technically, but... Oh, I wonder. Oh, that could be pretty cool. Oh, okay. That would be a fun one. Oh, that would also be like a end chapter boss fight almost. Ooh, that could be good. Okay. I like where that's going. I might actually have an idea for that. That could make it interesting. But the problem with it is that it doesn't really solve the transportation or the running around problem, because I would probably have the combat happen in this cave right here, which is not really helping. I mean, we do have the. I guess we do have the collapsed bridges here, so it's not going to be totally empty. It's just I wish I could do something more visually interesting right about here. But it's such a small area. It's like 5 seconds of running, so I think that's okay to not have, force the player to do something literally every 5 seconds. Okay, so we're going to debug the name, and we're also going to just debug that it's extinguishing this. So debug.log test. So about that point, we should be able to. Okay, I guess. Yeah, it should be under equipment. I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, clothing or accessories. So, all right, let's go ahead and let that go. We'll see if we get test called on it. There's something to be said for empty space, right? And I mean, there are certain levels like the canyon where it's not really meant to be a bustling area of activity. It's meant to be more of a. I mean, I was going to say quiet space, but you do technically have the bridge collapse at the very beginning when you first come into the area. But after that, I was kind of wanting it to be the kind of just nice, pleasing orange area because I don't really use orange too much in the game. There's pretty much this and then the volcano later. Um, but this gives us a nice color palette of orange and blue. Um, so it's just a nice relaxing scene. I feel. So I just always get paranoid that maybe I'm not having enough excitement packed in here, but that's a toxic way of thinking. Hold and light lamp. Because you do need to make sure that players have breathing downtime to breathe. So let's go ahead and it went to test, but it didn't actually call extinguish. Okay. Not ideal. Well, let's go ahead. We're gonna open up our lantern. Let's see what extinguish does when it gets called in here. Oh, really? Nothing, huh? That's unlikely. Okay, hold on. Something has gone horribly wrong here. Oh, right. Because well, hmm. Hmm. I wonder if I should just override these for our item. So let's go over here to lantern. Come back down to here. I hate that I can't do that. It drives me insane. Why are events not callable by their child classes? That's so stupid. So friggin' stupid. Okay. So we're not going to be able to fire those events, which is unfortunate. We're also not going to have to worry about the burning stuff here. Let's go ahead and go over here. Yeah, you can't call. So, for example, I can't call that base event from a child class, which is very annoying. I believe this is a delegate. Well, it's an event, which is based off of a delegate. Um, yeah, it's the built-in system, delegate system. So it's not anything particularly fancy, but yeah, you just can't call it. I could get around that by writing a function that literally just calls the event, which is dumb. Really? Would that work? Not that. Can I just give it that? Oh well, no. It's not a method though. It's a delegate, which I guess is technically an anonymous method, but yeah, dot invoke is not an option here. I don't think, right? Nope. Can't do anything with it. Yeah, the only way that I know to do that is you can make virtual ones, which is, I mean, no, you can make static ones, or maybe it is virtual ones. There are weird ways to do it, but none of them make sense to me. I don't understand why you have to either override them or make them static. I don't know why you can't just call them. It's very annoying. Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure if that would actually change anything. Um, like just as a test case, if I go all the way up to here, if I make like it'd be what, probably something like this, public event system, oh, system dot action int on test is equal to delegate. Oh, I get what you're saying. You use actions and functions instead of events. Yeah, that makes sense. I am actually curious if that would work, though. Nope. Sadness. Sadness and despair. Very annoying. Oh well, I don't particularly need it. Anyway, so all we'll need to do is say, let's see. This is our extinguish function. Let me double check what I'm doing here, make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. Extinguish. Yep, that's about right. Okay. And light is pretty much the same way, so cool. Let's come back here. I probably should have this play. That's fine. I mean, I just tried that. Oh, but again, I'm doing using it as an event, not as action with functions. Um, yeah, I don't know. I most of my stuff is using events right now, and I feel like it would be kind of awkward to have two different standards there, but it's probably fine. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and do this. True. I guess we would say something like lit. Blah 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 blah. Is lit, I think right now does not actually play a sound, but I probably could have one. So, a couple of things. Find all references. Are you being referenced by anything outside of you? No. What about you? Find all references? No. And what about you? No. Good. Okay, so I'm going to make you all private with serialized fields. Then tooltips, the light enabled when the lantern is lit. Tooltips. Yeah, yeah, it's just one of the downsides. And like I said, there's a way to get around that just by having a protected function that just calls the base event in the base class. I just hate that that's the way they want to do it. It's just gross, and I hate it. So this will be the sprite shown when the lantern is unlit. 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 There we are. Let's go ahead and copy that. Paste it in when it is lit. Okay, and next we will have these two. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is not going to be a sprite, but an audio clip. Actually, you know what? Even better, it can just be a freaking int, a sound ID. Unlit sound. Lit sound. this will be the sound to play when the lantern is extinguished. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this. Sound to play when the lantern becomes lit. Okay. Let's go ahead and change this as well to extinguished sound. Events can only be called from inside the defining class. Yep. Yeah, it's dumb though. And like I said, you can actually do stuff like this. So I can do that, and then in the base class, I can override it. Like, it's annoying that I can do that. It's just, I would really just rather that I could call the base event class. I hate having to, like, override it and whatever. Because in that regard, it's like functions, but also not, because you can't just call the base one for some arbitrary reason. Okay, so that's all of our information that we need. And I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to say, so parser dot, I thought I had like an output result. I could have sworn that I wrote a thing that would automatically do this. I guess I just wrote that in the individual timelines. Okay, so I think what I want to do here is say, come up here, and I actually don't want this to do that. So we're just going to say isLit is equal to true or false. Let's go up to here. IsLit. For now, we're just going to do this. Light source, light source enable is equal to value, and then we're going to say one last thing, which is geez. I guess in the end here we'll say if value and lit sound does not equal 0, else if not value and extinguished sound does not equal 0. Sound manager dot play. Extinguish sound. And I guess that would just be transform, pretty much. Let's go ahead and copy that, paste this here, say lit sound. Okay. And real quick, peak definition, and it's, okay, I'm going to make this an extended mono behavior, or an SOS mono behavior, I guess. Let's see, making sure I'm not going to override everything, that's all good. So let's go ahead and make it a SOS mono behavior. I do have cache transform, which is already a thing, and I probably don't really need that twice, so question mark. Let's go ahead and find all references here. I'm just going to say item dot transform, and then I can check for this again, find all references, okay, find all references, good. So I'm going to get rid of that. That's a whole thing I can get rid of, which is always nice. And let's go ahead and go back here, go to our lantern again, down here, transform. Okay, should be good. So now if I let that compile, hopefully nothing will break. Let's see. Hey man, can I test with your account a Twitter bot I'm working for on commission? Test includes me posting your Twitch link. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. My bot should retweet it. Is it just going to be something that basically sends out a tweet whenever someone goes live? Okay, let's go ahead and clear that out. So now it should actually turn it off. Oh god, you know what sucks is now I have to draw that. So real quick, let's go to that editor, which of course is going to be under the lantern editor. Okay, so I'm going to need to copy this twice. Come back down here, copy you, paste you, copy you, and yeah, it's a bot for streamers group, so that when one of the streamers twits that he's live, it's just going to retweet the stream. Takes care if it's available. Okay, makes sense. So we're going to say m_extinguished, m_lit. But yeah, go ahead. I'm fine with that. I'm going to copy this, paste. Oh, you know what I could be talking about, by the way, while I'm doing this very monotonous editor stuff? The first season, or the first episode of Venture Brothers started this past Sunday, and I am very excited. Because I've been waiting 2 years for that show to get another freaking season done. It was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. I got back from work at like 3:30 a.m. after working in the office for about 12 hours. And I was rushing home because I'm like, I want to catch this episode. I've been waiting 2 years. Just let me have this. Okay. So, wow. Yep, that's how bad this is. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. And get rid of this. New Venture Bros? Yep, it's on Adult Swim. It's weirdly late into the night. I guess I shouldn't say that. It's at midnight, which I think is actually what it was streamed at before, or what it was scheduled for in previous blocks. But yeah, it's every Sunday at 12 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. for the rerun. Let's see, Dustin. Mind if I post a link to a Twitter bot I used to run? I mean, go ahead. Go ahead. I was about to say let there be anarchy in the chat, but I'm not going to endorse that. So let there be controlled, not quite anarchy in the chat. Let's go ahead and paste this and say m extinguish sound followed by m lit sound. Okay, while that's compiling, I'm going to look at that. Geo Aleph? Does it just make random terrain? When it was running, it took random position on Earth and made a low poly render. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I was right. It was terrain, though. Haha! Technically. There's a lot of ocean. You don't say. I always thought that there was more land than ocean myself, but I could see why you'd say there's a lot. All right, so we're going to let that go. Let's go back to our lantern real quick. No sound manager in the scene. Makes sense because we haven't actually done that yet. So let's go ahead and drag that in real quick. Oh, you know what? I also don't have a sound for it yet, but that's okay. So resources, key manager. Let's see what we can get. Splash. Okay, it's a bit much, but sure. Also a bit much, but sure. Okay, torchlit. So splash and torchlit will be our sounds that we use. Let's go ahead and save that. Close the game manager here. Cool. So now we should be able to jump into the waterfall, which will put our lantern out and play a sound at the lantern. take, hold, and light lamp. Resolution was 16 kilometers, so there's a lot of flatter looking parts. That makes sense. Ooh. Well, I didn't hear it. Oh, and actually, hold on. I don't like that. Did my game manager's sound manager not have it? You totally have it. So why are you being like that? Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and say light lamp, and I'm gonna try. This is gonna be really awkward. Okay. Need to pause that so that I can debug this, see what sources are playing, and make sure that it's correct. So it's totally there, but I can't. Oh, of course I can't hear it because I muted it. Duh. Like, why can't I hear it? That's distressing. Let's try that again. This time without me being stupid. Take, hold, and light lamp. Wow, that's dramatic. Oh, that's about right. Is that too much of a dickish thing to do? I basically have it kill you almost as soon as you get in there, but I don't know. That's it's really hard to say. Oh God, am I gonna be crazy? Am I gonna try to do that? Oh, I might look into that at the very least. So I think something that I might do. I'm gonna try to run over there with a lamp again. Um, Take, hold, and light lamp. This time I'm gonna try not to die. God, that is such a dramatic sound. I really do need to just get some audio recordings of fire. Okay, so we're not gonna try to die here. Okay, I was gonna say I'm a little worried that I can just do that. Okay. Also, a little worried because our message didn't go away when I lit the lamp. But anyway, what I was saying is I might look into making this cave a little bit deeper and not quite as shallow, just because it might be good to have a kind of transparency on this almost. See if I can get that to work. God, I probably can't. But essentially, you would be able to see kind of like refraction, and then I would be able to use lights to actually have a little bit of light coming in, but not enough to illuminate the area very well. Essentially, what's happening over here, where you can see that there is some amount of light, but it gets dark really quickly. So we would probably do something like that, where you just get enough that you can see that there is a deeper part of the cave, and it gives you enough time to react and be like, oh, I don't want to die by going into there. So I think I'm going to look into that to see if I can get that to work properly. But I mean, at the very least, we do have our lamp being extinguished as we jump through the water, which is nice. So I think we might call it a night there, just because I know it's a little early, but the next couple of things that I really need to do are all going to be pretty boring. Things like UV layouts, and obviously research into potential some amount of translucency for the waterfall. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to fall on the side of not really wanting to do that. But I'll see if I can get something to work there. Probably not, but we'll see. So I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the night, especially because we have laid out a plan to add lasers to the canyon. And I'm always happy with lasers. I don't know very many people that aren't. So, announcements. As far as announcements goes, nothing really too spectacular. Um, should be on task to stream this Saturday. Should be on task to stream on Thursday as well. So we'll be back in the groove for at the very least another week. The following weekend might be a little more iffy, but we'll see how that plays out. Actually, probably I'm not going to be able to do it next Saturday. Not this coming Saturday, but the one after that. But that's 2 weeks out. So, um, okay. So it's a good place to stop for the night. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.